Peter Parker wakes up, drenched in sweat, haunted by yet another nightmare. Lately, these horrific dreams have become a nightly routine. He's tired, disconnected, and slipping into a dark place where nothing seems to matter anymore, except the black suit. At this point, Peter is still bonded with the symbiote, a living, powerful alien suit that enhances everything about him. But it's come at a cost. He's cut himself off from Aunt May, dropped out of school, and now finds himself stuck in a complicated mess between Mary Jane Watson and Felicia Hardy, also known as the Black Cat. Each night, Peter throws on the black suit and disappears into the city. Swinging through rooftops is the only thing that still makes him feel alive. The world around him is falling apart, but Spider-Man still has purpose. Still, something feels wrong. The suit gives him incredible strength and adaptability, far beyond his original abilities. But it's draining him. Peter's body is wearing down, like he hasn't truly rested in weeks. During one patrol, he stops a mugger assaulting an elderly woman, but this time, he goes too far. Peter lashes out with terrifying force, and the criminal is left so shaken he genuinely thinks he's about to die. For a moment, even Peter is disturbed by how brutal he's become. That night, the nightmares return, but when Peter jolts awake, he accidentally strikes Mary Jane in the chaos. She's terrified. She pleads with him, convinced that the symbiote is changing him, not just physically, but mentally. But Peter refuses to give it up. He still believes he's in control. As he continues patrolling in the black suit, Peter begins to hear a strange voice whispering inside his mind. He doesn't recognize it, but the voice is persistent, creeping into his thoughts. Then comes Hobgoblin. A brutal battle breaks out, and Spider-Man overwhelms him with ease, too easily. He's no longer holding back, and in the heat of it all, Peter nearly kills him. The power of the suit is pushing him past his limits. Shaken, Peter turns to Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four. Reed runs some tests and makes a disturbing discovery. The suit is a living alien organism. It's fully sentient, and it's trying to take over Peter's body. But Peter doesn't want to hear it. He storms out, unwilling to let go. He returns to visit Aunt May, but tragedy strikes. Hobgoblin attacks. In the chaos, her house catches fire, and by the end, Aunt May is presumed dead, lost in the flames. That's the breaking point. Peter completely snaps. The symbiote takes full control. There are no more rules, no more mercy, no more Peter Parker. Now there's only the black-suited Spider-Man, and he hunts Hobgoblin down and kills him without hesitation. News spreads like wildfire across New York City. Spider-Man has killed. And the moment Kingpin hears about it, he takes action. He hires a group of professional assassins with one mission: take Spider-Man out. Meanwhile, J. Jonah Jameson is furious. He's more determined than ever to expose Spider-Man to the world, to drag him down and destroy his reputation completely. As for Peter Parker, he's lost in the dark. He no longer just wears the symbiote, it's part of him now. He talks to it, relies on it. Torn between guilt and the seductive whispers of the alien suit, Peter faces a terrible choice: hold on to who he once was, or fully embrace the monster he's becoming. After a string of increasingly violent incidents, Spider-Man is no longer seen as a hero. The line has been crossed. In a moment of rage, consumed by the symbiote's influence, Peter storms into the Daily Bugle headquarters. There, he breaks both of Jameson's arms and threatens to kill him if he dares publish anything against Spider-Man again. Things are spiraling out of control. Soon after, Spider-Man is ambushed by two familiar foes, Shocker and Scorpion, both hired by Kingpin to finish the job. But Peter, empowered by the symbiote, overpowers them with ease. He beats Scorpion within an inch of his life, slices off Shocker's arm, and then kills him without mercy. Then he turns his sights on Kingpin himself. Without saying much, Peter throws the bodies of Shocker and Scorpion at Kingpin's feet. And when Kingpin reveals that he knows Spider-Man's true identity, Peter Parker, Peter doesn't hesitate. He kills him on the spot. That moment marks a point of no return. From there, Peter becomes a relentless force. One by one, he hunts down and eliminates villains across the city. Anyone who gets in his way is taken out. This isn't about justice anymore. This is the symbiote in full control, using Peter's body as its weapon. Meanwhile, Reed Richards continues studying the alien organism, and what he discovers only deepens his concern. The symbiote isn't just influencing Peter, it's consuming him, mind, body, and soul. Back at home, Mary Jane returns, only to find a terrifying sight. Peter floats midair, completely cloaked in a web of black, his human side almost gone. He's become one with the symbiote, and now it whispers to him constantly, telling him to let go of everything that made him Peter Parker and give in fully to the darkness. Faced with the escalating threat, J. Jonah Jameson decides he can't sit on the sidelines any longer. He assembles a specialized strike team to hunt down Spider-Man, and this time, Jameson himself enters the battlefield, piloting a massive armored mech suit. But that's not the only unexpected twist. Eddie Brock, still carrying a deep personal grudge against Peter Parker, defeats Dr. Octopus in combat, steals his mechanical tentacles, and joins the hunt. He's out for blood. The battle erupts in a dark, wooded area. Spider-Man, now fully consumed by the symbiote, has become something far beyond human. He stalks and eliminates his enemies one by one with brutal precision, sparing no mercy. By the end, only Kraven the Hunter and Jameson remain alive. In a last-ditch effort, Jameson triggers a powerful electromagnetic blast from his mech suit. The shockwave rips the symbiote from Peter's body, severing their connection. For the first time in a long while, Peter is free. The man who once hated Spider-Man more than anyone is the one who saves him. Jameson realizes that Peter was never the villain. He was just another victim of the alien parasite. And in that quiet moment, they finally see each other not as enemies, but as men caught in the same storm. But the threat isn't over yet. The symbiote survives. It escapes and infiltrates the Baxter Building, home of the Fantastic Four. There, it bonds first with the Thing, and then with Reed Richards himself. Now armed with Reed's intellect and the Thing's raw strength, the symbiote evolves into something far more dangerous. It no longer wants to control just Peter. It wants the entire planet. Meanwhile, Peter is consumed with guilt over everything he's done. But instead of hiding, he makes a choice to make things right. He suits up again. Not in the black symbiote, but in the classic red and blue, the symbol of who he really is. He arrives at the Baxter Building, only to find it completely overtaken by the symbiote. Inside, the Avengers are already working to contain the threat. Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, confronts Peter, furious, blaming him for everything that's happened. But this time, Peter doesn't run. He owns up to his mistakes and promises to fix them. With renewed resolve, Peter heads into the heart of the building. But he's not alone. Mary Jane and Johnny Storm secretly follow, knowing the clock is ticking. If they don't act fast, the symbiote will complete its plan, turning the world into an army of hosts. Peter still believes Reed Richards can be saved. He hopes there's still a trace of humanity left inside the symbiote. He wants to reach it, reason with it, talk it down. But it may already be too late. The creature now possesses all of Reed's knowledge, combined with alien power. It's evolved into something nearly unstoppable. Meanwhile, Sue Storm finds herself facing an impossible situation. She's surrounded by the Avengers, all of whom have fallen under the control of the symbiote. Her former allies now move like lifeless weapons, relentlessly attacking her. Peter, terrified that Mary Jane could be caught in the middle of this deadly war, knows he has to act. Weakened and no longer enhanced by the symbiote, he still confronts it head-on. In a shocking move, Peter offers himself. He tells the symbiote to leave Reed Richards and bond with him instead. The symbiote accepts the offer, but before it leaves Reed's body, it kills him. Reed's body falls from the upper floors of the Baxter Building and hits the ground with devastating force. Peter screams in grief, another friend lost. Sue Storm collapses to her knees, overwhelmed with sorrow. But the fight isn't over. Now, the symbiote sets its sights on Peter Parker. It lashes out, black tendrils wrapping around him, beginning to consume his body and soul. But then, something feels wrong. Something doesn't add up. The symbiote realizes too late it's been tricked. The person it's attacking isn't Peter Parker, it's Johnny Storm. Peter and Johnny had swapped places, using Reed's technology to mask their identities and confuse the creature. And in that moment, Johnny ignites. Flames erupt from the Human Torch, engulfing the symbiote. The alien screams as it's burned alive, until nothing remains but ash. The battle is finally over. Peter and Mary Jane embrace. The nightmare is over. The war has ended. Not long after, Peter turns himself in. He knows he must take responsibility for what he did while under the symbiote's influence. The Avengers, having also experienced the mind control, confirm that Peter's actions weren't truly his own. Matt Murdock, Daredevil, steps in to represent him. With the truth revealed, Peter is cleared of all charges and given a second chance to continue his life as Spider-Man. Sometime later, Sue Storm visits Peter. She thanks him for everything and offers him a place on the Fantastic Four as an official member, a sign of trust and redemption. But the story doesn't end there. Elsewhere in the shadows, Kingpin, long presumed dead, survives, and in his possession is a fragment of the symbiote. Watching it carefully, Kingpin begins plotting once more. A darker future is taking shape.